Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. I think is my name. How are you guys tonight? Hang on, I'm trying to check over on Rumble over there because I think that video might be broke. If you guys are watching this on Rumble later, it's because I had to upload it there. I tried, guys. I tried. I don't know what happened to it. It just suddenly wasn't working, and I tried. How is everybody? I'm all right. Slept a lot today. Holy moly. Told you guys yesterday I was extremely tired. And I talked to Jack for a little while. I said I was going right to bed. But me and Jack started talking. I thought, you know what? If we talk long enough, I can just crawl into bed after Lady Monkey gets up. And that's exactly what I did. And yeah, I slept for a solid 8 hours. Nothing woke me up. Get up, hung out with the family for a while. Played on the computer for a little bit. And 8 o'clock rolled around and my big ass went right back to sleep for another 4. I am what they call well rested, but not exactly healthy. We'll just leave it at that. Oh, so guys, lots to talk about tonight, lots to get to cover. And the first thing I'm gonna do is probably piss off the more conservative folks in my audience because, well, that's what I do. I this is what I woke up to when I first get up and I'm reading online. I see this stupid ass thing pop up about what's her name? Hang on, I don't want to misattribute. Libby Emmons, Emmons. She's one of the people on Twitter that if you're on the right, if you're conservative, you're supposed to be following her. I don't. She has all the right follows and all the right followers. And she posted something the other day. Let's talk about it. In Las Vegas, there was an ex-sheriff who got run over, purposefully so. I'm sorry, he's the ex-police chief, not an ex-sheriff. My bad. And he got run over. The person who did it was a teenager, did it on purpose. There's no question about it. Fucking murdered the guy. And this is back on early August. I forget the exact date. The story about it, though, comes out in the Las Vegas Review-Journal on the 18th of August. And this is the headline that they put up with it. Retired police chief killed in bike crash, remembered for laugh, love of coffee. And Libby found this and said, just seeing this, how vile. I mean, yeah, that's kind of vile. This guy purposefully murdered, and it says it was just a bike crash. Just a bike crash. Hold it. Don't get mad yet. Don't get mad yet. Don't get mad. Because this is August 18th. Before anybody knew that the crash was intentional. There was a driver who was arrested very, very early on in the investigation. This article, I went and found it. It actually mentions it, that they arrested somebody for it. But they didn't know it was intentional for another week and a half. A week and a half later, the woman who wrote, or is it a guy or a woman? I forget. Whoever wrote this article, somebody approached them and said, hey, I have video of the whole thing. I have video of it. And the journalist here went, well, take that shit to the police, which is exactly what they did. And the charges were changed. And on August 29th, there's an article in the same paper saying, hey, this motherfucker was murdered. Murdered. Libby here, either intentionally or didn't care, didn't do her due diligence in looking this up, because the person, for some reason, this blew up in some of the papers over the weekend, that this guy had been killed like this. And she went looking for it. I couldn't find it. Elon Musk retweets this out saying, why isn't any of the big papers, why isn't any of the big media looking into this? Well, the original reporter of this article has gotten a lot of hate for it, and it's another one of those things. I don't know how much hate they actually got. They say they got an actual death threat there, and they turned it into the police. There's an article written about what the author of the article has been going through. Yeah, so they only claim one death threat. A lot of it sounds hyperbolic, but something else you should know about them is that a reporter for this paper just last year was murdered by somebody that they had been reporting on. The somebody on like the town council or something stabs the motherfucker in his front yard. So the paper is a little bit sensitive to that kind of stuff. I do think they're probably being a little hyperbolic here, but that's not what interests me. Nothing I've told you so far interests me. Okay. What does interest me is the response since all of this has come out. Since it's come out that, hey, this was before anybody knew the guy was murdered. So that all comes out due to an article written in the same paper by the editorial staff. A certain guy, Aiden something, I forget his fucking name, but came out and wrote this article, and everybody's like, "You're lying about her. She never put the name in the tweet. She never put the name in the tweet." Do you guys know how hard it is to go find a news article when you have both the headline and the publication? For fuck's sake. Look, here's what happened. Libby here fucked up. She jumped the gun. Instead of going and looking at what all happened, her dumb ass went, "Look at how vile this is, you guys." And all the usual suspects just went running and going, "You stupid bitch. Why are you covering for people for murdering somebody?" And instead of her coming out and going, "Yeah, y'all, I fucked up. My bad. This is entirely a misunderstanding on my part. I did this." Everybody's out there defending this idiot. She didn't put the journalist's name in there. You gave them everything they needed to know to find the journalist's name, dumbass. Look, I talk a lot about horrible journalists online, and I don't give them any slack. The person who wrote this article did nothing wrong. They just wrote an article talking about this guy. They talked to his wife, they talked to his daughter. Again, they mentioned that he'd been hit, and apparently they have a big problem out there in Vegas right now because it's mentioned in the article by the relatives of the dead man here of people getting hit on bikes, on bike crashes, and they're like, something needs to be done. So there's nothing wrong with the original article, nothing at all. And what you're doing here is making people like me's job harder because you just overreacted to stupid shit and you can't just admit to what you did wrong. They're blaming the guy who wrote the follow-up about all the hate she's getting. "Oh yeah, this guy's a fucking liar. This fucking liar. How dare you be a fucking liar?" For instance, Mr. Jack Posobiec here, "Piece of shit propagandist Aiden McLaughlin is a liar. Libby Edmonds did not name any reporter in her tweet, nor did she put out any comment naming any reporter. But Aiden McLaughlin doesn't give a funk. Be a man, Jack, and say, fuck you, bitch. He just wants to smear Libby Emmons because he's a liar." Well, this is how the guy tweeted out. A terrible story on how Elon Musk and the editor of the Post-Millennial, Libby Emmons, mindlessly smeared a good reporter who is now facing harassment and death threats. Well, that's true. There's no lie in that post. Are you telling me that she said how vile and it wasn't aimed at the person who wrote the fucking story? Why do you guys got to be such lying bitches? Just admit it. You fucked up. And all of you fucking idiots jumped on board without going and looking at any of it. because this happens over and over and over again, because we got to have our tribal sides. Oh, that Libby said it's a bad thing. Get him. But hey, she didn't put anybody's name in there. For fuck's sake. A Google search, type in the Las Vegas Review Journal and ex-police chief run over, and it pops that fast. It is that quick that it pops up for you. But nah, bruh. Yeah, she did nothing wrong. She fucked up. She fucked up. Period. End of story. Apologize. No, Kenny. If we can never admit we're wrong. No. Never admit you're wrong when you're not. See, I hate this whole thing. Never admit you're wrong. Bullshit. When you're wrong, say, I was wrong, and move on with your life. There you go. It's admitting you're wrong when you did nothing wrong, like Megyn Kelly when she apologized to NBC News for, what we discussed yesterday. That's a time when you don't apologize. You didn't do anything wrong. Never apologize. Fuck you. Anyhow. Yeah, so that's what I woke up to, is this nonsense going on. And it annoyed me because, like I said, I argue against bad reporting all the time. It's kind of my bread and butter. And here you have, alternative media, the post-millennial, being part of the problem. And instead of just admitting their mistake, no, she has not apologized. All she's doing is retweeting everybody saying that she never mentioned a name. She never mentioned a name. Oh, yeah. She just gave you every way to find it. You know how? Because when people write stories, their names are attached to them. So all you have to do is look at the fuck up. Sometimes you have a knee-jerk reaction. You end up with your foot in your mouth. It's okay to admit your mistake. Exactly, Bubba. 100%. There's no reason to not just go, yeah, we fucked up. We fucked up. But no, can't have that because, yeah, she never mentioned a name. Fuck you. I saw so many people repeat that same stupid line, that same dumbass line. Ashley St. Clair said it. What's his name? That fucking grifter, Still Gray. What's his name? Ian Miles Chong. He said it. All of them. She didn't say the name. Fuck off. And Jack, you're a grown ass man. You can say fuck. You were in the military, for God's sake. You were in the Navy, for God's sake. I know you can say fuck. No, that would be inappropriate online. So instead, what I'll do is bullshit people. Piss off. I hate these assholes. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about these guys tonight. That was not what I wanted to talk about. I actually had this show planned out before I ever went to bed. I knew what I planned to talk about. I don't know if we'll get back to that Trump video from yesterday. Probably not tonight. Depend on how fast I get through everything else. But what I want to talk about right off is the Russell Brand story. So we talked about this the other day in the stream called Branded, which, by the way, I thought was rather clever. But Russell Brand has been accused of sexual assault on 3 women and outright rape on a 4th in a Channel 4 show. I forget the name of the stupid thing. And the London Times. Is it the London Times? I think that's it. And we know a little bit more than we did when I made the last stream on this. Here's what we know. Here's the proof. One of the girls, the girl who was raped, it was in Los Angeles. And she immediately went to a crisis center, a rape crisis center. And there's a report filled out that these places have seen. Nobody else has been able to verify those. Nobody else has been able to verify this report. But apparently those 2 independent agencies have seen it. And so there's your proof that it happened. I don't know. I really don't. But supposedly a 5th person has come forward, but there's literally nothing about it other than some police station, I forget whether it was in London or here in America, saying that some woman came forward. But we are still at the very preliminary part of this whole thing. That doesn't stop YouTube, you guys. Doesn't stop YouTube. YouTube suspends Russell Brand from from making money from its monetization program off the streaming site after sexual assault claims. YouTube said Tuesday that Russell Brand will no longer make money from the video streaming site after several women made allegations of sexual assault against the comedian turned influencer. Now, I do wonder, because we know that YouTube will put videos or will put ads on videos that are not monetized. Do you think they'll still put video ads on his videos? You think they'll still have advertising on there so they can make money off Russell Brand? Oh, fuck. Oh, YouTube said monetization of Brand's account, which has 6.6 million subscribers, has been suspended following serious allegations against the creator. This decision applies to all channels that may be owned or operated by Russell Brand, the Google-owned video service said. The suspension means Brand won't be able to earn money from the ads that run within and alongside YouTube videos, which have titles including What Really Started the Hawaii Fires and COVID Czar Admits Lockdowns Were Never About Science. Other channels associated with Brand's main YouTube page include Awakening with Russell, which has 426,000 subscribers, Football is Nice, which has 20,000, and Stay Free with Russell Brand, which has 22,200. So, I mean, there's not a lot more to talk about with that, with facts. Tons of opinion. Again, I don't know if the guy did it. I don't. And the serious allegations, I mean, a rape allegation is serious. Whether it's true or not, it's serious. I don't think any of us have enough evidence. You can make your mind up. And I got to be honest with you, people waiting a decade to come out and say that they were, in some cases 2 decades, to come out and say that Russell Brand had assaulted them, and they tell reporters and not the police. I always have trouble with that. I'm sorry, I do. I just, I saw somebody today, who was it? They said, Harvey Weinstein was taken down because people went to the media. Oh, it was, for some fucking reason, Piers Morgan had just Pearly things on to talk about this. I don't fucking know why. Apparently she's the expert here. Good God, that girl's an idiot. But Piers Morgan, in response to just Pearly things, mentioning, hey, why go to the press instead of the police? And Piers Morgan said, hey, Harvey Weinstein was taken down because people went to the press. I mean, fair point. But it's not the best way to do it. I feel like you should go to the police first. I also have a problem with that, and I'm not sorry at all. I say sorry a lot like Canadians do. I think I just live too close to Canada. I don't really mean sorry. I just say it out of habit. The the nonsense here. The evidence is scant at best. Damn video not loading. Oh, damn it. So apparently Rumble's not working. Hang on 1 second, guys. All right, I guess I can just close that for the evening then. The idea that they're going to start just punishing people because of allegations. YouTube has kept people monetized who there were serious allegations with proof. Shit that happened because people met each other on this site. And like, nah, bro, we don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? But in this case, they're taking this guy down. And I saw a lot of people who are like, oh, it's because the election's coming up. Maybe. I think it has more to do with the fact that everybody is so gun shy about this kind of thing. We've seen people fired because of allegations, right? Whether they're true or not, whether they're borne out or not. There's a rush to just immediately come out and Oh, you got accused of this. You have to go away now. You got to go. Sorry. All right. If you're talking about other places, I guess I understand that. But here in the US, I mean, due process is supposed to be a thing. And while that's a legal concept, it does feel kind of wrong. People getting immediately blasted without there being actual evidence. We see tons of people. Take a look at some of the crazies we've seen who've gone online and supported pedophilia. You're like, nah, you're fine. Come on over here and make money. What? They haven't touched anybody. Just because they supported, they didn't touch anybody. And then eventually it turns out they touched somebody. But that's allowed. But Russell, who he's made jokes about this kind of stuff, and oddly enough, the jokes run right in with what these girls' stories are. Um, that was all fine. Joking about it like that, fine. But some woman just comes out and makes the claim, and sorry, can't make money here anymore. And it really does seem like a bad system because now, if you want to shut somebody up, all you got to do is make the charge. Make the charge, and they go away. Does that seem right to you? What's up, Nuts? How you doing tonight, sweetie? There are times when I will absolutely be like, yeah, fuck this person, fuck them, they can go away now. But that's after we have the evidence. The evidence here is literally that the publications involved with this said they saw something. That's it. They said they saw something, and okay, here's some chicks who said this shit happened. That's it. All right. I mean, none of their stories match up. So this isn't even one of those cases where they're like, all of the stories match. None of the stories are even close to true. Or sorry, whoops. None of the stories are even close to each other. They're all different, including one who's like almost physically impossible. So yeah, I don't know. I just think this is jumping the gun. Maybe this is the actual thing that needs to happen. Maybe this guy's a rapist and should be in jail. I haven't seen any proof of that yet. Now, maybe this will be like the Tate thing where when it first comes out, I'm like, I don't know what to believe here. And then we'll get actual evidence. Maybe they'll let us see the Rape Crisis Center report. That would be interesting. Bring that out so we can actually read it. But until then, I mean, I just don't see any actual evidence here. I don't know. Anyhow, moving along. YouTube, you gotten real quick to demonetize people, especially knowing you can still make money off of them. If you're going to do this, if you're going to say, hey, Russell Brand cannot earn money here, at the very least, you should say, and we're not going to earn money off of him. Now, of course, they earn money based on people being here. It's how they get their ad rates. So you can't really account for that. But what you can say is, we will not run ads on his videos either. We just won't do it. Because look, it stinks. It's horrible. There's serious allegations. But what they're doing right now, and I can almost guarantee it, that if you go over to Russell Brand's channel and you click through his videos and live streams that are up there, that you will eventually run into an ad because they are still going to make money off of it. He just can't make money off of it. Does that seem right to you guys? Does that seem like they actually give a shit? Like, no, we're going to. But in this case, you see, YouTube, when they run an ad on our videos, they share that money with us. And the more people who see that ad, the more money both of us make. But if they're running it and you don't get a cut of it, they get all of that money. Instead of only getting 40% of it, they get 100%. So of course, I mean, they care about this. They care about it deeply. They care very deeply. Just not enough to give up their own money over it. The punishment without any kind of due process, that's bad. That's real bad. But the hypocrisy of these motherfuckers still going to make their own money off of it. Ah, no, but we won't give him any of it. That's just fucking dirty, man. That's just dirty. So, yeah. Sweeney says, YouTube runs ads on my videos and I don't get a cut. Yeah. They used to not run ads on anybody who wasn't monetized and didn't run ads on their own videos because you can select not to monetize your videos. And YouTube used to be like, okay, so we're not going to run any ads on those. We'll only run it on ads on people who are monetized. And then they decided, wait a minute, there's ways to make even more money out of this. Those people who haven't hit the threshold to get money from us, we'll go ahead and start making money off of them too. Oh, and those guys who don't run ads, fuck it, we'll run ads there as well. So yeah, YouTube is dirty when it comes to that shit. If they run ads on your stuff, they should absolutely be sharing that with you. All right, let's move along. Like I said, there's not much more to say about Brand until we get more information on it. But we are seeing this over and over again. His agency dropped him. He's lost several contracts over this. One of his touring dates got canceled, or one of his tours got canceled. All of this because a couple of people said some things that there's been no proof of. No proof has been given publicly. And so he'll suffer for that. Speaking of people who there was, not much to really say, we're going to talk about Louis C.K., but we're going to take a big difference. I spelled border wrong, didn't I? I spelled border wrong in the title. Son of a bitch. I need to go fix that. I spelled it with an A. Oh, I hate when I do that shit. Why didn't anybody tell me? How come nobody told me I spelled border wrong? I did, didn't I? Let me make sure. Yeah. Because that's what monkeys do. Damn it. There we go. And now it's fixed. If you refresh, it's better. Anyway, Louis C.K., who was, caught up in the whole Me Too thing because he asked women if he could masturbate in front of them. Well, he was on with Joe Rogan and he wanted to talk about borders. And oh my God. I really do wish Jack was here right now because the immigration thing really bothers Jack, and I think this would just blow his fucking mind. This may be one of the dumbest things I've seen said out loud about open borders and border policy. Of course, it's coming from a dumbass comedian who came out and said, look, yeah, I did nothing wrong, but I'm still sorry. I asked all these women if I could masturbate in front of them, and there was a power dynamic there. Oh, shut up. Shut up. They could have said no. Some did, and you didn't do it. See, he's one who shouldn't apologize because he didn't do anything wrong. Retro, what do you think about Twitter going to a paid subscription or paid subscriber only model? I think that would be the death. That would actually be the death of Twitter. I think that there were a lot of newspapers. Let's do it this way. There were a lot of newspapers who are already paid. You get 4 or 5 free articles. And then they went, you know what? Fuck that. Nobody gets our free shit. And that lasted for about 2 months because they realized, oh shit, nobody's reading our stuff now. Yeah. So they changed it back. They were like, oh, yeah, you get 4 or 5 free articles a month. Paid subscriber models only work if it's only paid. That only works on something like OnlyFans. A paid only model would never work on YouTube or Twitch or Twitter or Facebook because the value for them is just not there. Like I can only read if I pay. Is that something that was suggested? Is that something that I haven't seen anybody talk about a paid only model? Anyhow, this is Louis C.K. and he's going to talk to us about open borders.
But my feeling is they should open the border. and just let them pour in, let everybody pour in, and then the answer, which is, well, then there'll be all these problems. Yes, there should be. It shouldn't be so great here.
That's right. That's right. We should have open borders because life in the U.S. is too good. We should have the problems of everyone else. No, some media people took Elon way out of context. Well, I haven't seen it, so I'll have to look it all up. But yeah, this motherfucker, we should have the problem. It gets worse, believe it or not. It gets worse. Oh, for fuck's sake. Now, in fairness, this is not a new idea. It's just new in the way that it's being said here. There are tons of people who thought the U.S. is, you have it too good there. You have it too good. We should suck. And the weird thing is, a lot of the people who are doing that are people from inside the U.S. It's too nice here. Other countries suck, so should we. It's a very liberal idea. It is the idea of apologizing for America. It's the Obama apology tour. Sorry, we're good, guys. Fuck everybody, but fuck us too.
Is what I'm saying. In America, it shouldn't be. It's a weird thing to sequester a certain group of people and try to keep upping their lifespan and their lifestyle.
To sequester a group of people. To sequester. All right. As far as I know, every nation has some kind of immigration policy. It's not a new thing. It wasn't something that was designed just to keep the United States with a longer lifespan, which is weird because they tell me, thank you, Keldrig, Louis C.K. suffers from foot and mouth disease. I don't think he was putting it. I think this is what he honestly believes. This isn't an accidental thing that he said. He believes this. It's like I said, it's a big lefty thing to think that America shouldn't have the better country, that we should suffer with the rest of the world. But we're not sequestered because, we need it's because we're a country, fucker. We're a country. You sequester your home, don't you? Oh, you shouldn't sequester your belongings, your things that help make you live longer than that poor guy in the street. No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that. I just mean as a country.
And just keep trying to increase that for this group of people, and then this pressure of people trying to come in so they can enjoy it. And then it gets worse and worse down here. I mean, I'm not Canada. It's really just from down here. There's something wrong with that. That's not a system that's working. And it forces people to do cruel things to other people.
No, it doesn't. It's not cruel to say, fix your own shit. It's not. This is such a fucking Marxist idea. It's exactly what it is. Everybody needs to have great stuff. Well, when everybody does, then yeah, everybody sucks. It's just the way it is. But here's the thing. They can fix their own countries. Nobody's stopping them, except for their crooked governments, which many of them end up supporting anyway. I mean, we just saw a major shift in South American politics moving towards communist bullshit. Where's that ever helped anyone? They're not opening markets. They're not trying to emulate us. No, we just got to get there. Let's bring our bullshit that has caused our countries to suck there.
There's a lot of people that die so Americans can be safe. They're just dying, weddings that are drone bombed in Yemen because the guy said something that might have resulted in American insecurity. Not even like definite American deaths, but like just so we can breathe a little easier. Folks die. And folks do labor in unsafe places so that we can keep the prices where we like them. There's so much about American life that other people pay for. That's part of it. But also, it's not good for us either. It's not a good way to live in a gated community. If you let folks pour in like any other wave, it'll kind of slosh. and then things will be different.
All right. Okay. It'll just slosh a little bit. Oh my God. Why do people talk to celebrities about anything other than the thing that they just did that people want to see or hear? Seriously. This is fucking retarded. Look, he's not wrong about some of the bombings and shit that go on, okay? We especially under George Bush and Barack Obama, and quite a bit under Trump as well, we just bombed the shit out of a whole bunch of people that probably weren't going to do shit to us. Not definitely, but probably weren't. However, that doesn't mean all military action was uncalled for. There is something to the notion, but the people that are trying to come over here, they're not trying to get away from being bombed at a wedding in Yemen. So put that right up your ass and smoke it, motherfucker. You're conflating things that have nothing to do with each other. And then he brings in, there's people making stuff for cheap. They're starving, don't you know? So they can make stuff. Well, all right. How about this? How about Americans stop buying those products? What happens to that guy? Instead of making little money, he makes nothing. They could fix their shit. They could implement a minimum wage that you guys think is the answer to fucking everything. Implement a minimum wage in Taiwan and China and raise that shit up to $5 an hour so that Americans have to pay $50 more for their pair of shoes. Do you think it's actually going to lift anybody out of poverty? It's not. You want to lift people out of poverty, you actually give them the means of production. You turn it over to the people so that they can rise in their standard of living. Yes, America benefits greatly from the rest of the world. But that's because the rest of the world isn't fixing their shit. We're taking advantage of it. 100%. 100%. We are taking advantage of it. I am not sorry for that. You know why? Because I didn't make their fucking countries, and I'm not the one who decides how their fucking country runs. That's them. That's them not changing things. You might not know this, Louis, but we stood up and fought a revolution to make this country how it is. What are we taking advantage of? Largely cheap prices. We are absolutely taking advantage of that. We could buy everything internally. But hey, it's cheap over there. Let's buy that shit. Hell yeah. I take advantage of cheap prices in the grocery store. Like, look, that's the name brand. There's the generic. The generic, let's take corn, because corn is one of my favorites because I think every generic brand of corn tastes more corny than any Del Monte or any of that shit. That stuff tastes so watered. Ugh. But I could pay $1 for this can, or over here, off label, I can pay 50 cents. You could say I'm taking advantage of the people who work for the generic companies because I could be paying more. But why the fuck would I? The fuck is wrong with you? Jesus Christ, man. Frozen corn is better. I'm not a big fan. To me, I like my canned corn. Maybe it's just the convenience of it. Maybe it's the fact that I can actually eat pieces of it as I'm cooking it. Just pull out a kernel or two. Can't really do that with frozen corn. Off the cob or go fish? How dare you? What's wrong with that of a can? All I had for dinner was a can of corn. Do you know that song, Cynic, or are you just saying can of corn? But yeah, I mean, why would we pay extra? Why? If these if these countries need to improve, improve. Don't put that shit on me. It's not my fault those countries suck. But you're not doing anything about it. No, I don't fucking live there. Assassin of the Grain. Thank you, Renting Monkey. What this self-righteous jackhole fails to understand is Americans will just start blasting long before it gets to that point. I mean, that's fair too. That's fair too. Look, a lot of the people that we blew up, I mean, let's talk about the blew up. Since you bring up Just Start Blasting, a lot of the people we blew up were absolute terrorists. They were. There's no getting around it. It's who they were. Sure, we occasionally bomb people that are humanitarian workers, Biden. But let's be honest, a lot of them were, shitbags. Was there collateral damage? Yeah. But the alternative there is sending in people and getting more people killed. And so, yeah, so we drop a bomb from on high and Muhammad, or I was trying to think of another ethnic name from that region. We all know what we're talking about. But one of those that, yeah, them and their family died. And it sucks. It does. But that's what you get for harboring a terrorist. Anyhow, yeah, it's not my fault their country sucks. No, the answer is not to just let them the fuck in here. It's not to make our country suck because theirs does, you fucking piece of shit. And if you honestly believed that, if you honestly believe that that's the way you fix shit, I guarantee this guy's not living in the ghetto. He's not living in the ghetto. He ain't going down to the lowest common. He's not living on the street. He's not down there in a tent city, so he can be like everyone else. He's not letting everybody into his apartment so the rising tide lifting all boats. Nah. He still has his walls. He still has his borders. It's just not on the country level. Well, Louis, what do you think happens when you allow all this poverty in? It's undeniable that crime and poverty are linked. The more crime, the more poverty you're going to find. If you see a huge spike in crime and you go look like, oh, people got poor there, that's what happens. Or if you're like, wow, people are getting poor here, you can guarantee the crime rate's going to go up. It's not an excuse for crime, but it is a cause and effect. It does happen. So, Louis, what do you think is going to happen to this country? When you bring everybody in and there's waves and ebbs and then it all just kind of settles back down. What do you think that settle's going to look like? Do you think everybody's going to be as rich as you, homie? Because I guarantee you they're not. They'll be lucky to have housing. You know how I know that? Because a lot of them don't in the fucking shithole countries they come from, you dumb motherfucker. Christ. There'll be ebbs and flows. Fuck you. He has security. Now stop it. He would give that up. He would give that up so that he could live like the common man. It's amazing how this shit always comes from very wealthy people. Very wealthy people are the ones who'll be out here telling you, hey, what we need is more poverty. We need more poverty here. I was hoping you would finish the Hottie Megan interview. I won't do it tomorrow. It just depends on how much we get through of this. I also really would like to get a game stream. I'm hoping to do at least a Phasmo stream tonight. So I'm trying to keep this one at about 2 hours, which means we're probably not going to go into the Megyn Kelly thing. Circus Zero, thank you so much. Sounds to me like Mr. CK volunteered to take a busload of illegal immigrants in, so Governor Abbott should oblige him 100%. Look, man, look, Louis, there'll be some ebbs and some flows in your living standard with 400 people living in your home, but then it'll settle down. It'll settle down into a new normal for you. It'll be fine. Piece of shit. I understand the idea behind what these people think, okay? The problem is it's just very simplistic. The problem is it's childish. It's childish thinking. Like, hey, if we just give everybody money, everybody will have money. Yeah, but then money won't mean anything. It's childish thinking. And they never get past that part. Like, there'll be a new normal. Yeah, everybody will be fucking poor, you piece of shit. Everyone will be poor. It is not my job to fix other countries. It's not. And we're going to trade with them to our benefit. Yes. And it is our benefit in our country. And we have every goddamn right to have borders. And it's not sequestering people so that only we have the best stuff. We're not stopping people from buying good things or from having good countries. They are. And I don't fucking care what you think about it, Mr. CK. You're an idiot. You're allowed to have your opinion, but that doesn't mean your opinion isn't fucking retarded. Because it is 100% fucking retarded. All right. There's one more video that I had that I wanted to watch. And there's plenty of other stuff we're going to get into, but we have one more person we have to see. Jacinda Ardern, the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, the big toothy bitch. She was up in front of the UN, and she's going to talk to us about free speech. She's going to tell us all about the free speech. Thank you, Nuts, for dropping the links there. And for everybody, Bubba dropped it at the beginning. Please consider shorting the show, supporting this show. Hit the like button, share with your friends, your family, that bitch you hate. And if you could, please consider donating to Jack or myself if you are so inclined. All right. This horse-faced twat is about to piss me off, so strap in, ladies and gentlemen.
This week, we launched an initiative alongside companies and nonprofits to help improve research and understanding of how a person's online experiences are curated by automated processes.
I hate your accent and you're ugly. She says that the companies and her, they got together and like, we're going to see how people's online experience is affected by automated processes. Holy shit, she has huge teeth. I know. And I wish I never had to see him because it would mean she'd keep her fucking mouth closed. She's an idiot. This is more talk of how to keep people down, how to shut people like me up because I say things. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I probably should just let her talk and tell you. What's up, Jack? How you doing tonight, my friend?
I am getting closer and closer to start time every day.
You really are.
Yeah, I'm creeping up on it.
Well done. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing okay. Just got caught up in what I was doing and didn't check Twitter.
Oh no big deal. I've had a few rants tonight, but nothing really worth going back over. You're here, well. You probably would have liked the last one. We talked about Louis C.K.'s open border policy. Did you hear that?
No, does it involve his penis?
Oh, shit. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll come back to Miss Ardern here. Jack has to see this.
Is that the New Zealand Prime Minister?
Former New Zealand Prime Minister, yes.
Oh, okay.
She's going to say stuff that pisses me off, but before we get there, I want to show you shit that's going to piss you off. Is that fair?
Yay.
Now, Jack, we watched it with me interrupting it. I am going to just play the whole thing and we can respond at the end.
Okay.
If there's a part where you want me to pause it, please say so, and I absolutely will. But I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let you listen. Ready?
Yeah.
All right.
But my feeling is they should open the border, and just let them pour in, let everybody pour in, and then the answer, which is, well, then there'll be all these problems. Yes, there should be. It shouldn't be so great here, is what I'm saying. In America, it shouldn't be. It's a weird thing to sequester a certain group of people and try to keep upping their lifespan and their lifestyle.
What?
I heard you breathing over there.
The fuck is he talking about? Oh, it's weird. It's weird that some people should have a different, like, that. It's called history, dumb shit. I hate these celebrities. They're all fucking dumb and they're weird. They're so weird.
You ready for me to keep going?
Yeah.
And just keep trying to increase that for this group of people, and then this pressure of people trying to come in so they can enjoy it, and then it gets worse and worse down here. I mean, I'm not in Canada.
What?
It's really just from down here.
Okay. Pause. What's he talking about? Every innovation that the Americans have created has been shared. It's not like we're like, ha ha ha, we found this awesome thing and we're keeping it. It's called the light bulb. Fuck you, Canada. What's he talking about? Yeah, it's pretty awesome here, but it's not like we're keeping everything to ourselves.
Like I said, I'm not commenting until the end.
Okay.
So when you're done, just let me know and I'll hit play.
Yeah, play.
All right.
Here.
For the record, before we watch this the first time, I said I wish you were here because you would rage about this.
Yeah, it's just making me mad.
There's something wrong with that. That's not a system that's working, and it forces people to do cruel things to other people. There's a lot of people that die so Americans can be.
It forces people to be cruel, Jack.
How? By being too awesome? I don't get it, man. Look, if you don't like being an American, give up your citizenship and move to some other country. Go be Mongolian. I don't care. But what the fuck is this retard talking about? He has it better than most people. He's fucking rich. And he's a weirdo. He jerks off in plants. That would be tolerated in other places. You know what other places have that we don't? Stupider laws. I mean, we're working on it. Don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of things that stifle innovation in other countries. If it's so great in other countries, why don't you go live there? Why don't you go take some of your manifest destiny over there and say, hey, I'm here to lift you poor people of color up. What is he talking about? There's not a giant fence around America, sadly. And we're keeping everything in. Like, oh, we got these cool innovations. We're keeping them. And you don't like it? Well, we're going to have to shoot you. That's not how any of this works. What is he talking about?
Oh, he will get to it. I promise you.
Well, he better get there faster. I'm angry. Go.
Safe. They're just dying, weddings that are drone bombed in Yemen because the guy said something that might have resulted in American insecurity. Not even like definite American deaths, but like just so we can breathe a little easier. Folks die. And folks do labor in unsafe places so that we can keep the prices where we like them. There's so much about American life.
Oh my God. No. You fucking read. People are insecure because, they put their lives online because so we can have stuff. Yeah. Does he not understand crab fishing? There's a lot of people who put their lives online here. Coal miners. I'm pretty sure people all around the world do that. And those little kids mining for cobalt for China are putting their lives on the line so they can make our sweet, sweet batteries. But nobody's forcing them to do that. I'm pretty sure they're paid, maybe poorly, but we're not out there like pointing guns at people saying, hey, go dig a hole and do something dangerous. Nobody's forcing them to. Although that's not a bad idea. It seems to be working for China pretty well. Is he talking about China? Does he not understand China and the US are different places?
Well, hang on. Ready?
Okay.
That other people pay for it. That's part of it. But also, it's not good for us either. It's not a good way to live in a gated community. If you let folks pour in like any other wave, it'll kind of slosh, and then things will be different. I don't know, like what'll really happen? A bunch of people, like, will they just come with knives and start killing everybody? I don't think so.
You're retarded. He's retarded. Oh my God, I never realized how fucking retarded Louis C.K. was.
Yeah, his idea, Jack, is that if we just let everybody come in, then they will be just as rich as we are.
No, that's not how any of this works. When mass poverty creeping in like that, or rushing in this case, it's gonna make everybody poorer. And yeah, they will start killing people to take what they've got because it's a bunch of envious people. Let's be honest. If they're willing to commit crime to get here, they're willing to commit crime here.
Pyra says $5 says he lives in a gated community.
Oh, he
I
absolutely lives in a gated community.
I don't know if he lives in a gated community or not, but I guarantee there's a door on his house.
Yeah. He doesn't just let anyone wander into his mansion.
No, because they might stab him.
Yeah. I'm wondering what kind of slave labor his maids and landscapers and stuff like that are doing for him, that he's got this kind of white liberal guilt. I don't like Louis C.K. to begin with. I mean, some of his stuff's kind of funny, but he's obviously mentally retarded.
Yeah. As I said, Jack, we are absolutely taking advantage of cheap labor overseas and stuff. But
Yeah,
I didn't make that country.
Forcing them to do
they
that.
did it.
Yeah.
That is them, their policies, their leaders. I had nothing to fucking do with it.
And also, a lot of the so-called living wage is different over there because their standard of living is different.
Yep.
People can live off of $1 in places like Laos and Cambodia, and they're happy to have a job at a textile company.
No, man. We just make this country suck, and then everybody will suck, and then it'll be okay.
Yeah, this is that sort of nihilistic self-hatred that we see so much of with liberals, that they are ashamed at how successful the United States is. But the standard of living is different. People don't know any different in other countries because they don't live outside of that. This guy's obviously never been to other countries. People have all sorts of lives. They're happy, they're sad. They don't just sit there and be like, I want to break into America and take their shit. A lot of people hate us. Why would they want to come here? A lot of people don't work with us. We don't exploit a lot of the world. We don't really exploit anyone, honestly. Their leadership exploits them.
I love his thing there at the end. I didn't show it when I watched it the first time, but there at the end where he's like, what are they going to do? Come in and stab us? Has he never heard of MS-13?
Yeah. They've been coming in and stabbing us.
We have gangs from as far away as El Salvador coming in.
Yeah. Does he not understand what an invasion is?
No. They're all just going to come in and be nice and look, things will be different. I like how he says things will be different instead of we'll all be poor.
Yeah, because that's what's going to happen. The standard of living is going to tank, especially for the average person, middle class and lower. Anybody that's like working class, your standard of living is going to drop dramatically, and you're going to have even less access than you do now. You're going to be a serf class. And you're going to be fighting to get jobs and housing with people that are illiterate and will work for pennies on the dollar because they're used to that. They can live off of that. There'll be like 30 people in the apartment next to you, but good luck. Good luck with that. This is so much that manifest destiny and white man's burden. Like, it's so sad how successful we are. We just got to whip ourselves a little bit and let everybody else have what we have. It's just not realistic. This is delusion.
Black Romeo says this fucking idiot said that our life expectancy is too high. He slipped that in there almost silently. Yes, how dare we try to increase the life expectancy of our citizens?
Yeah, he is embarrassed by the fact that we have it so good. Yeah. Yes, being an American or even in Western civilization is really nice. You do have a longer life expectancy. You're probably a lot richer than a lot of other places in the world. So fucking what?
Yeah.
You want that in your country? Work at it. Make it happen. You can do it. Most places have some kind of resource.
And Bubba says, it's almost to the point that I say, fuck it, America, flex your muscle and exploit everywhere because we're pretty passive with our power we have. True.
Yeah,
We really are.
very passive with our ability to crush others.
The notion that this is that every ill is ours to solve, and if we can't, then fuck it, just let them all in here. No, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it is not our job to fix the world or to pass out all our money because you feel bad with your little white liberal guilt. Real quick, thank you, Keldrick. Jack's so angry he's turning green and losing the grasp of the English language. Yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty tired too, so that's not helping. But I'm not being articulate enough with my rage. That's some dumb stuff right there, man. I don't know where some of these clowns get this crap, but celebrities are some of the stupidest human beings on earth. They're so cloistered away from the rest of the world, so incredibly out of touch that they do not understand how stupid they sound.
You said it earlier, but you just had it slightly wrong. Let me get this real fast. Ministry of Wrong Thing, thank you. It'll go full super block cities from Judge Dredd. Fair enough.
Mega City 1, man.
You mentioned, it's white man's burden. It is, but in this case, it's rich man's burden. Because these people, they feel bad about being wealthy. You can fix that yourself. There's winner's guilt is a thing. Survivor's guilt is a thing. And it's a kind of a thing on that. Winner's guilt. I didn't deserve this. We don't deserve this. Now, look, when it comes to America, Jack, I was just lucky enough to be born here. That's true.
Yeah.
But America is what it is because of the founders standing up to the crown and telling them to get fucked. Fought a literal war over it. Shed blood, sweat, and tears, literal blood, to be like, no, we are going to make our own shit, and we're not putting up with your authoritarian bullshit anymore. Now, nothing is stopping other countries from doing that, other than the fact that they would have to actually put their lives on the line.
And most people that are not willing to put their lives on the line for what they believe in because they're afraid of dying. And I get that. But at the same time, there are consequences for that.
There are. When what you're doing is enough to get by for a lot of people, that's enough.
Yeah. And you accept the role you're in and achieve nothing else. And in a lot of places, there is no upward mobility. And I understand that. You have like a caste system or some sort of feudal system where you're a perpetual serf. Your dad was a carpenter, you're going to be a carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
And that blows. You know whose responsibility that isn't? Mine. That is not the responsibility of my country to go and fix yours. You have to fix your own fucking problems.
All right. I just wanted to play that for you because I thought you'd get a kick out of it.
Yeah. Oh my God. People are so stupid.
Yeah. What a fucking dumbass, man. For real. All right. Now we're going to piss me off, Jack.
He always looks smelly, too.
Oh, he does. He does. And I'm with you. There's times I find him funny, and then most of the time it's like, that didn't land at all.
No, well, I don't know. Anyway, what do we got here?
This is the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, and she's going to talk to us. I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this, but oh boy.
Launched an initiative alongside companies and nonprofits to help improve research and understanding of how a person...
I don't understand how she gets those lips over those teeth.
It's a mystery. It's part of being a sinister, evil person who thinks that they're being helpful.
She's like Snakehead with a horse face. I don't understand it.
Yeah, she's like King Hiss from He-Man. There's actually like 3 serpents living in there, and it's just wearing a people suit. Yeah, this lady is one of the, they always say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. They're talking about people like this. They have your best interest at heart.
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to ruin your life that way.
So sorry.
What's going on with Rumble?
I don't know what happened. I went to set it up and it just stopped. So I'm gonna have to upload this after we're done.
Oh, yeah, that would pain in the dick.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no way for me to do it. Oh, I should go ahead and do that.
Sorry, Rumble people.
Yeah, don't worry, they can't help or they can't hear us.
Well, some of them are probably in chat.
All right, back to
New Zealand was a mistake. Explain yourselves, Aussies. That's funny, Viking.
Since online experiences are curated by automated processes. This will also be important in understanding more about mis and disinformation online, a challenge that we must, as leaders, address.
A challenge as leaders we must address. Let me explain something to y'all out there in YouTube land. When it comes to mis and disinformation, the government is absolutely against it. They do not like it unless it's coming from them. They're fine with it coming from them, Jack. They lie to you constantly.
Yeah. Well, it's a lie for your benefit because you're so dumb. You're not as intellectually capable as they are. They're sophisticated. You just don't understand. So we got to adjust it down to you. And sometimes you see that as a lie, but really we're just adjusting it for you.
Sadly, I think it's easy to dismiss this problem as one in the margins. I can certainly understand the desire to leave it to someone else.
No, sweetheart, it's not that. It's that what you're describing isn't a problem. We'll get to that in just a little bit. This bitch is about to piss me off, Jack. You said you've seen this?
Yes.
Yeah, you can imagine how mad I got watching this shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I knew we were going to watch this clip.
Leaders were rightly concerned that even the most light touch approaches to disinformation could be misinterpreted as being hostile to the values of free speech that we value so highly.
Remember, she said that.
Yeah. A light touch is necessary because if you startle a horse, it will kick. Just throwing that out there.
It's a fair point, too.
But while I cannot tell you today what the answer is to this challenge, I can say with complete certainty that we cannot ignore it.
We got to do something, Jack. Here it is.
Oh.
This is. How many times have we seen this and heard this?
Too many.
Doing something is better than nothing. One, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
And two, you already have in mind what you want to do, lady.
Of course I do. You never let a good crisis go to waste. You always have a plan.
To do so poses an equal threat to the norms we all value.
She sounds like the bad guy from Lethal Weapon 2.
Well,
I know he was supposed to be South African, but she sounds like him.
Yeah, the New Zealand accent is like a corrupted Aussie accent, somewhere between Melbourne and Cape Town. I don't understand how it happens, but it does sound suspiciously like Afrikaans, doesn't it?
It does.
Also, she reminds me of Dolores Umbridge because of the way the things she's saying. Like, it's for your own good. You must not tell lies, Mr. Potter.
How do you successfully end a war if people are led to believe the reason for its existence is not only legal but noble?
Well, you can either win it militarily or concede.
Yeah.
That's how you win a war, despite what the people think. Lots of wars have been won that people thought were unjust, Jack.
Yeah.
How do you do it when the people think it's noble? See what I mean, guys? How the fuck are we supposed to get stuff done if our propaganda isn't the only one out there? How?
Yeah, it's unjust to have other opinions out there. Opinions we don't like. Speech we think is hateful and mean. Oh, it's not okay. It's not okay that others have an opinion that's different than ours. Oh, thank you, Evolved Potato. The Kiwi accent is really weird. It's like a retarded Aussie accent. I have no idea where it came from. They're the island of peasant farmers that the crown let farm there and love to choke on the authoritarian chode. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe they sound like that because of all the throat banging that they let the British do to them, or all the sheep fucking made them kind of inbred and retarded. I saw that movie, Black Sheep, and it was about zombie sheep. It was fucking amazing, but that might explain the accent.
All right, this next thing she's going to say, it might set me off, Jack. Because she just gave us the war example. Her next example is even fucking dumber.
Yes.
How do you tackle climate change if people do not believe it exists?
Doesn't.
Suppose honesty's out of the question.
Right? And she said tackle, not tickle. I had to listen to that 3 times before I'm like, is she talking about tickling climate change?
How do we tickle the climate change if people don't believe it exists? Well, you can be honest with them about what is actually going on. Stop being, look, if you guys really wanted to push climate change and get people to believe it, you would have stopped the hyperbolic bullshit decades ago.
Yeah.
Because the more hyperbolic you get, and then when the horrors don't come, people are like, wait a minute, didn't you say New York would be underwater 2 decades ago?
Which is true. They did say that.
They absolutely did. Well, it's just short of 2 decades right now. Because it was right around 2005 that nonsense. No, it was 2005. It was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So, they told us that back in 2003-ish. When did Inconvenient Truth come out? I know it's after he loses the presidential election, but his number was 2005.
Yeah. A lot of that crap's been going around since before that, though.
Uh-huh. Oh, true.
I mean, some of this hyperbolic shit goes back to the late 90s. So, I don't know, man. But remember the bit they did on, what was it, ABC News, I think? One of the main networks where they were talking about, like, oh my God, and they showed up people ransacking a store and talking about how we're going to be out of food and people are going to be murdering each other for resources.
Oh yeah.
Never happened. That date came and went. Nobody ever referenced it again. They're like the original Seventh-day Advent people, because oh my God, doomsday's going to happen. Oh, didn't happen. 2 weeks later, well, it got pushed back thanks to Jesus. So we bought some more time, and they just keep changing the date.
Yeah.
Instead of a nebulous future, like this is going to affect us in generations, they come up with these random like the 12-year thing that was real popular for a few minutes 4 years ago.
Oh, well, the 12-year thing is still the official policy of the ICCP.
I notice there's CCP in there.
Right? It's kind of telling, isn't it?
It also has ICP in there, so I just assume they're communists that have a lot of Fago.
This is the International Committee on Climate, or no, the International something Climate Panel. Those little fuckers, that is their official thing, that in 8 years from now, we will reach the tipping point where we can never fix it, which, by the way, is not the first time they've given us a tipping point that we could never fix. You know what the first one was? The first one I can find? 1989.
Oh, 89. Oh,
89.
Well, I mean, good thing we fought off that ice age so we could have the global warming to worry about.
The tipping point was going to be 89. If we didn't fix it by then, shit, we didn't fix it. Okay, 2005. Fuck. 2015.
I noticed they're still around after the tipping point passed.
Yes.
They didn't just fold up and be like, well, we tried.
You want to fix this shit? Stop lying to people. Because maybe there is some warming that's going on, Jack. Maybe there is something we need to pay attention to and go, ooh, it's natural, but we need to fix it. We need.
Why would I listen to that if they're going to lie to me all the time? Though, be Chicken Little.
Exactly, but maybe there are things that we need to do. Maybe we need to get air conditioning to old people in Europe. Maybe
they definitely need that.
Maybe there's stuff we can do to mitigate the climate changing, because the climate has always literally always changed.
Oh,
but we've never been in a better position to deal with it.
With America's riches.
Tyrite, thank you so much. Well, thanks to some group of jerks, they let 6 to 8K worth of mink out into the local environment in Pennsylvania. They need to stop this fear mongering. For real?
That doesn't surprise me. Remember when some environment the dude that ran a exotic animal establishment here in Ohio outside of Columbus, he released a bunch of animals, and we ended up having to have a bunch of cops kill them all because they couldn't catch them. And then somebody did the same thing with minks here, and so they all ran out in the road, and a semi truck ran them all over. But now we have like an invasive mink species running around throughout the entire state that was never here before. But because of that one incident, and the truck fucking barreled through and killed thousands of minks. I'm sure that truck driver has nightmares about that. Although his wife has a nice coat.
Bubba says the thing is, I'm anti-pollution, but don't lie to me. 100. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, nobody wants to live in squalor. Well, most people don't. You get some junkies or something, maybe, but nobody wants to drink contaminated water and live in a place that is probably going to kill you with toxic sludge.
And I just once again
live in Cleveland.
Once again, like to point out the hide the decline stuff.
Yeah,
the governments around the world were going based on these fucking things, and it comes out that these guys were fucking lying. There's no doubt about it. They absolutely fucking lied. And what'd they say? Well, that's not important. That's not important.
Yeah, it's not important that we lied directly to your face. Instead of just saying, look, hey, it looks like things are changing a little bit. We got to keep it up. Now's not the time to quit. We're making progress. No, it's just, don't look behind that curtain. Nothing to see there. Pay no attention to that man.
How do you ensure the human rights of others are upheld when they are subjected to hateful and dangerous rhetoric and ideology?
What? How do you make sure the human rights of others are upheld if they are exposed to dangerous rhetoric?
Mean words are just as bad as environmental catastrophes, Monkey. You didn't know that?
I suppose punishing people for actually harming them's out of the question.
Well, the harm here is the words, Monkey.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Hate speech is not free speech.
The weapons may be different, but the goals of those who perpetuate them is often the same: to cause chaos and reduce the ability of others to defend themselves.
If somebody says something to you, you can't defend yourself.
No, because they're hurt. Because mean words are like paper cuts on your soul, Monkey. And you're too busy being mortally wounded by the reeling from the attack of vicious words. It's horrible. It's horrible being a pussy.
To disband communities, to collapse the collective strength of countries who work together.
Mean words online are going to collapse the collective strength of countries who work together.
Did somebody misgender Zelensky when he was panhandling?
Wow, this bitch thinks online words are incredibly powerful.
She just hates free speech.
No, Jack, she told us earlier it's very important. She holds it very dear.
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. We all know she doesn't. Look at all the crackdowns they did in New Zealand during the coup. She's a mini tyrant.
We'll get to that at the end of my rant here.
But we have an opportunity here to ensure that these particular weapons of war do not become an established part of warfare. In these times, I'm acutely aware of how easy it is to feel disheartened. We are facing many battles on many fronts, but there is cause for optimism, because for every new weapon we face, there is a new tool to overcome it. For every attempt to push the world into chaos is a collective conviction to bring us back to order. We have the means. We just need the collective will.
All right, Jack. What's a term we use for a government that will only allow you to say what they allow you to say?
Authoritarian.
This bitch is literally out here saying, hey, we should have free speech, but only the free speech that I think you should be allowed to have.
Well, free speech apparently is a weapon of war, monkey.
A weapon of war, but hey, they got tools for it.
Yeah, tools to fight back, like prisons and work camps.
Pyra said she just said words are weapons of war. She absolutely did. Absolutely did. Words are weapons of war. They're different weapons than they used to have, Jack, but it's the same goal in mind. Chaos, which I think meant chaos.
Yes. Killer chaos is I think what she was saying. It's a mixed word that they use down there in New Zealand. I'm just talking out my ass now. Yeah, she's absolutely saying that saying something mean to someone is now a warfare tactic.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up, you goofy looking bitch.
It's something that the governments of the world desperately need to get together and stop. Oh, hey, but they all value free speech. No, you don't.
Well, they value the speech they allow you to have.
I am so tired of people who do not value free speech. And we're not talking about actual threats of violence. No. She is literally just talking about you saying, hey, maybe climate change isn't as bad as they say it is. Which, by the way, it's 100% not as bad as they say it is.
Or misgendering someone or saying something that they don't like. Maybe you use the wrong pronoun for someone. Oh, you bigot. That's warfare because you hurt somebody. You hurt an entire group of people that didn't hear you say it because, they're mostly imaginary.
She brings up the war in Ukraine. She doesn't say it directly, but that's what she's talking about when she says, how do you win a war when there are people who find it noble or just? She's talking about the Ukrainian war. And while I don't find it noble or just, I also don't necessarily find it unjust either. It's them fighting each other. It's none of my fucking business. But if we're being honest about it, it's not like the Ukrainians were just sitting there. They are a puppet of the United States right now. We helped overthrow their government that was pro-Russia. We did that. And to sit back and pretend that, hey, the only reason Putin did that, I actually had this argument today, Jack, because of one of the Krasenstein brothers.
Oh, of course.
One of the Krasensteins told us today that if we don't stop Putin here, World War III is coming.
If we get involved in this stupid fucking war anymore, World War III is definitely coming.
Nah, bruh. Nah, we got to stop it. Because that's how we stop World War III.
There's been no indication that Putin has any interest in spreading out into NATO. He's been very controlled about this whole thing. They haven't even attacked Kiev in months.
No. You see, he's been involved in, 34 armed conflicts of Russia, not Putin specifically, in the last 33 years.
Yeah, how many have we been involved in?
That's a good question. That's a great question. But let me read to you what Ed said. He said, to think Russia would stop at just Ukraine is just short-sighted. If we want to prevent World War III, we need to stop Russia from taking Ukraine. Well, Eddie boy, there's no indication he wants to take Ukraine. He wants parts of it.
Yeah.
He wants the Donbass region.
Yeah, and it was a concern early on that he was going to try and get all of Ukraine. But they clearly backed off of that and limited their scope to the Donbass region.
Look,
so they have a land bridge between Russia and Crimea.
Before the war, I thought he wanted all of Ukraine. You and I were some of the few people going, he's absolutely going into Ukraine, when everybody else would go, no. But
within amassing troops on the border for fun.
Within a week or two, we saw that he wasn't going full bear. I know full bore, but Russian bear. I was for those of you who think you got it wrong, monkey. I knew what I was doing. He didn't go full bear. They actually stopped outside of Kiev. They could have taken Kiev. What's his name? The mayor there, the former boxer. I forget his name again.
I don't remember.
He was ready to face the full brunt of the Russian army, and like, we'll be able to hold out for just a little while. If they had moved in, they would have taken it.
That was an intimidation tactic to scare them. We did the same thing in Iraq.
Klishenko, thank you. Him and Vladimir. But
we did the same thing during the first Gulf War. We went all the way up to Baghdad, and then we stopped.
He did the same thing in Georgia, because we all know about the Georgia invasion. Does Russia control Georgia right now? No. Only a little bitty part of it that was already Russian backed at the time.
And we didn't do anything to help those people, even though they begged us for help.
Mm-hmm. And when it was all said and done, they backed off and like, just leave these people alone. And that's not to say they've been good to those people. For anybody who's read up on what's happened there, it's absolutely, at least from the reports we get, horrible.
Yeah.
But if they wanted Georgia, they had taken it. They could have kept it. But I had so many of these idiots tell me, oh, he's going into Poland next. Based on fucking what? He went into a country that is not NATO backed. And if you think he's just trying to get back all of there's this thing where he said he wanted the Russian sphere of influence back.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about that at the time.
If you read what he was actually talking about, he's not talking about actually taking back all of those areas through military force. He's talking about becoming a superpower again on the world stage. But these people, it's like, oh, he said he was going to do it. No, he didn't. He said he's going to get Poland back because he wanted all of them. And he didn't say that. He has not said that. He hasn't said anything close to it.
But it's not realistic.
And if you're looking at what's happening in Ukraine, there's no evidence he wants Ukraine, much less Poland.
No, he could have done it by now if he was going to do it. He
could have.
We've talked about this since the beginning of the war. It's been like 13 months now, I think. Oh,
it's much longer than that because it was in February.
Oh, okay. So it's been like a year and a half.
Yeah.
He easily could have done this and taken the whole place if he had gone full bore, but he didn't. He stopped at the part that apparently they wanted. So, I mean, they don't even have all the ports. I don't think they have Odessa, do they? I know they bombed it several times, but
I haven't paid attention to Odessa in a while. I'm not sure.
Because I don't think they control that. But yeah, they just wanted a land bridge to Crimea.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and for the record, sorry, I don't mean to cut you out there, but the area of there has been popular with the people there have been supporting Russia. They are Russian separatists.
Yeah.
And it is funny to me. I had to laugh today thinking about this. There's tons of Americans who say, hey, China better stay the fuck out of Taiwan. They want to be separate. You don't say that about the Donbass region. You don't say it about the Donbass region in Ukraine. Hey, Ukraine, you leave those people alone that you've been bombing since 2014. I had one guy tell me that Ukraine has not been involved in any conflicts. They haven't bombed anybody since they've existed. None.
That's not accurate.
It's not even close to accurate. They bombed their own people. They killed 14,000 of them.
Yeah. Which I have an article on something they just admitted to doing. Real quick, though, I got a couple things stacked up here. Thank you, Dragon Mage. Environmentalists are trying to reintroduce bears, bison, wolves, and wild boars in Britain. We haven't had these animals in centuries. They're going to cock up our ecosystems by doing this. Yeah, wolves they've been trying to reintroduce for a while. Bears and bison and wild boars, why the fuck would you want those? They kill people, especially wild boars. They're incredibly vicious. Bears, they don't tend to seek out humans. If you come across them, especially with their cubs, then they might kill you. But yeah, you got to worry about those big cats roaming around Exeter. So I don't know why you'd want to introduce more vicious things. But wolves, that will change your ecosystem. Yeah, good luck with that. That's a terrible idea. Wolves are probably the least dangerous because they don't generally attack humans unless they're sick or starving. But bison, they'll gore you. They're also one that doesn't really attack humans very often. Bears are dicks, and wild boars are psychopaths. But thank you, Evolved Potato. Putin just wants some land and then to install his own puppet in charge. That's been in all the peace offerings. Yeah.
Yep.
And if Ukraine was smart, they would take that, but they'd rather leech all our money off of us. Because why not? Nobody's paying attention to where that money's going. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and for the record, I'm not defending Russia here. We're just being honest about what's going on.
Yeah, we're going to be shared cells in the gulag with Coach Red Bill.
Ragnar, thank you so much. Pigs are not even native to North America. Are pigs wild boar are though, right? Brought over too.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Run off from some European farm and hump in the woods, and now you have wild boar. I honestly don't know. Anyway, but the point of that is not to defend Russia, but I got kicked off of Twitter for saying less than that, Jack.
Yeah. You Russian puppet stooge, you.
Just because I pointed out that this is not in any way similar to the American Revolution.
What?
Therefore. And so, yeah, fuck this lady and fuck anybody who comes at me telling me to preserve your free speech, we have to limit what you can say. That's not, you're not preserving my free speech then. Fuck you. At the very least, you're being authoritarian. At the worst, you're being fascist. So let's just be honest about what it is. I'm tired of these fucking assholes getting up here and telling us that for our own good, we need to limit speech so we have free speech. Fuck you. I can't say that enough. Fuck you.
Yeah, they're really big on trying to strip away things they find to be inconvenient. Like free speech or the ability to dissent.
100%. Since that was, since I brought up Ed Krasenstein, let's visit another one of his things today, shall we?
Oh, sure. Why not? Suffering isn't something that we stop doing around here.
Nah. We'll go full bore. Is this absurd? A middle school teacher in Jefferson County, Texas, has just been fired. No, they were put on leave for assigning the illustrated version of Anne Frank's diary to 8th grade students. The book, Anne Frank's Diary, the graphic adaptation, is a graphical representation of the book that Anne Frank wrote when she was approximately the same age as these teenagers. Hold that thought, that's not true. If Anne Frank wrote it in the 1940s, don't you think it's appropriate for 13-year-olds today to read as well? Don't you think the history in the book greatly outweighs concerns that schools should have? Are people being too extreme in their issues with these books today? And then he's got a video, Jack. I'm not sure I can watch the video, though, because it does show the comic panels and read them.
Oh, yeah, probably not.
I will tell you this. It does not go over any of the actual graphic content that is at issue here. The graphic content at issue here was added by Anne Frank years later in what is called the unabridged diary of Anne Frank.
Well, no, she didn't add it. Her dad had taken these pages out.
Yes, and it was re-added. My mistake.
Yeah, it was returned because she was dead by then.
She was dead. Yes, she was dead. Now, in these, there is graphical descriptions of some sexuality, including a child wondering about the size of their hole and how a boy's penis could fit in there when a finger barely does. That's necessary to the Anne Frank story, right?
Yeah, well, that's why it was taken out to begin with. Her dad didn't want any of the sexual stuff in there. Thought it was just inappropriate.
Because it was.
Yeah, well, it's not necessary to the narrative of what this kid went through. It's
not at all.
Sexual awakening of a child who's beginning puberty. You know, the confusion and lack of information available because she was living in an attic.
But if you read this, it's like, can you believe they're getting rid of the Diary of Anne Frank?
No, they're getting rid of the new edition of it.
The
graphic novel.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the text version, not the graphic novel, that came out in the 70s. So this is years and years later that this is added to the book. And it's not like she just, hey, you got fired for the representation of the diary. No. It's of the updated diary that has sexually explicit stuff in there. Now, Jack, I went looking for a story on this. It's like, this sounds weird. And I found this from a local station. Controversy over the graphic adaptation of the Diary of Anne Frank prompts the ousting of an HFISD teacher. And if you scroll down, KFDM reviewed a section of the diary shown to the Hampshire Fannett 8th graders in which Frank wrote about male and female genitalia. The passage was not suitable for broadcast.
Oops.
You couldn't even show it on the news broadcast. That's how graphic it gets. Oh, shit, I forgot to change it to that tab. There we go. Here's that, if you guys want to read it yourself. But making it sound as though, it was just the Diary of Anne Frank. Nothing to see here. They're just being overly censorious. How dare they? They're trying to get rid of the Jew stuff. If you have a problem with them getting rid of that, that's fine. I disagree with you, and given you and your brother's predilection for nudity in children, I question why. But at least be honest about what it was. Don't make it sound like they just got rid of the book you and I read as kids, Jack.
Yeah, because they didn't. They're trying to go back to the so-called clean version.
They want the original, the version that matters. There is nothing added to Anne Frank's diary by adding that she thought about fingering herself. And I dare say if, people ran around talking about how Anne Frank wanted to finger herself, people would have an issue with it. Am I wrong?
No.
Is that what we want people to think about when they think about Anne Frank? A young girl digitizing? I feel that destroys the story, if I'm being honest. But these fucking Krasensteins, man, these fucking Krasensteins, they just cannot be honest about anything.
Yeah, and let's keep in mind that we are talking about 5 pages.
Yeah.
That's all that is. It's 5 pages that were taken out by her dad because he thought it was like too personal or not appropriate, that sort of thing. And this didn't even make the news because nobody knew these 5 pages even existed until 1980.
Damn it, man. I have a tiny bit of lag here. Our speech seems fine, but anytime I click on anything, fuck.
Oh, that's not good.
All right. From one retard to another, let's check in on Senator John Fetterman, shall we? You know, I saw something today from Stephen Miller, not the one who used to work at the White House, the one that works for Red State.
Yeah.
Where he said, you know, the dress code in the Senate is kind of a distraction. Because the real issue is why in the hell Fetterman's office is saying he can't wear a suit. And I do agree with that. One, I think that the dress code is kind of an issue because you're in a professional job.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if a head of state from somewhere else comes over to be introduced to the Senate and Fetterman is standing there in a fucking hoodie
with his jogging shorts on? Yeah.
But it is
welcome to the white trash.
Pyra said, I assumed he just didn't want to. I don't think it's that at all. I don't think he can. I don't think anybody wants to dress him every day.
Yeah, it's easy to keep a hoodie and shorts on. It's a lot harder to tie a tie.
It's a lot harder to button somebody else's buttons. Do you know why women's buttons are on the opposite side of men's?
Because somebody else did it.
Because somebody else used to do it for them.
Yeah.
Men would button their own clothes, and women would be buttoned up by someone else.
Yeah, because they had all the petticoats and brassieres and laces and stuff that they had to have like a lady in waiting helping them.
Yeah, so he would have to wear women's shirts and I mean, outside of Michelle Obama, I don't think they make shirts like that in that size.
Oh, I'm sure they do. He could probably order from Torrid.
You need them long though, not just fat.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so. But yeah, this is a problem with him. This man cannot get dressed, but fuck, he gets to help make our laws. Speaking of which, Jack, dun dun dun. So fuck, why is everything moving so slow? The Associated Press reports a federal judge has declared illegal a revised version of DACA program, which prevents the deportation of hundreds of thousands of immigrants brought to the U.S. as children.
I'm just looking at your Twitter feed right now. That's what I'm seeing on my screen.
Yeah, that's what you should be seeing.
Oh, I sent you this article.
I know. I'm not reading the article because I'm more interested in Fetterman's take on it.
Oh my God! Why? Do you need, there's a short bus right down the street. I'm sure you could just ask them. We could have a live thing where Monkey interviews a retard.
I said we were checking in on Fetterman.
I know, but I didn't think we were going to get his hot take on this because why? What
you know why?
Possibly add to anything?
I will tell you exactly why. Because this man is fucking retarded. He's clearly got mental issues, and what he says here is the mainline Democratic talking point.
Oh, that makes me so sad that you're right.
He says this ruling is a disgrace. It punishes the very people who have and will, I like that, and will contribute to our nation. Dreamers make this country great. Do they? They deserve a chance at a dignified life without fear of deportation.
They do in their own
Wait,
country.
Wait.
Where they came from.
Is there no dignity in Mexico?
That's what I got out of that. But Feder Monster, he doesn't understand. Fetterman smash.
If Donald Trump said this, they'd be like, "Oh, there's nothing dignified below the border." But these guys saying that you can't be dignified anywhere else, I guess, is okay.
Yeah, look, these people are here parasitically leeching off the education system for decades now. They don't belong here. Their parents brought them here. The only people they have to blame are their parents for when they have to go home. And they have to go home. Go home, you freeloaders.
I see what you guys are saying in chat, and I will address it in a second. It finishes with Congress must act to provide a permanent pathway to citizenship. No, there is a permanent pathway to citizenship. Go home and apply.
Yeah. Even better, all of these people have been leeching off our system for so long, they can never be citizens. How about that? How about anybody that crosses the border illegally can never be an American citizen? Get the fuck out.
And for all the people who've mentioned it, no, there's no fucking way John Fetterman wrote this himself.
Oh,
absolutely no fucking way.
Got some staffer doing this shit. It's probably a staffer
does not have
for
the
AOC
dexterity for it. I'm sorry, Jack. I stepped on you there. He doesn't have the dexterity for it. So,
or the mental capacity. And I think before the stroke, he didn't have the mental capacity to formulate these sentences. He's not a smart man.
True. So what happened is Joe Biden, DACA got shot down by the same judge who was involved here. And it goes to the appellate court, and the appellate court upholds it. They're like, no, he was fine in saying so. However, by that time, the Biden White House had made some changes to the DACA program. And they said, okay, since they changed it, we want you to review it again. And he reviewed it again and went, yeah, it's still shit, and threw it out. He didn't end it, though. He did not end DACA, which he didn't end it because he said he wants to let it play out in the court system.
Which means pussy and half-assing it.
Yeah, which means it goes to the appellate court, and then it'll eventually end up at the Supreme Court again.
Yeah.
So, hopefully this time it'll be shot down into the Supreme Court. It was upheld under Trump, but not because DACA was okay. This is what I was talking about yesterday, I think it was, with Trump, where he had people who were working for him telling him to do these things when we were talking about shit. What was that? He said he was going to do an executive order, and Megyn Kelly asked him, hey, you said you were going to do this all through your last presidency, and you never did.
Oh, yeah.
And he starts mentioning how, the people around him were saying you can't do this. Well, part of that is from the DACA ruling that they got from the Supreme Court, because they did not handle retracting it properly, which is nonsense because it wasn't a fucking law. It was an executive. Oh, yeah. Birthright citizenship. Thank you, Bubba. That's what it was. But in this case, it wasn't a law. It was an executive order. DACA is an executive order.
Yeah, it's not a law. There's no legally binding stuff. It's just Obama so sainted that, oh my gosh, Obama penned this. We have to keep it. We have to defend these glorious little freeloaders that their parents dragged here who've been going to college on your dime now.
The Supreme Court said, well, you have to have a period of review from the public. No, you don't. Not for an executive order. That's nonsense.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Dangerous Spaces, thank you. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. How dare you, sir? Well played. Thank you. Thank you. DACA is bullshit. Frankly, the Republicans in Congress should have challenged it when it first happened, and they pushed out.
Of course they did.
The states have been the ones who've been trying to get it overturned.
Yeah, because it's a giant drain on resources.
Yeah.
None of these people are here legally. They're all here because of their criminal parents breaking into our country. It's disgusting. These aren't people whose parents went through the system and process to become American citizens or even permanent residents. These are just the children of the people that hopped the border to cut in line in front of all those people. legal immigrants should be incredibly pissed off.
Yeah. Black Romeo regarding Fetterman says if he's not mentally sound, wearing a suit might be too restrictive for him. He might think he's being tied down or something. I'm not joking, by the way. I genuinely think that's it.
Yeah.
I hear you, but I don't think that's it. I think in this case, it is a matter of his ability to do it himself. When you're dealing with people who are mentally challenged in some way, it's often easier to just put on a pullover than it is to dress them up.
Yeah. I'd be interested if he has Velcro shoes.
He probably does. No, he has slip-ons.
Oh, yeah, slip-ons? Yeah, that tells me he probably has problems dressing himself. And that's probably a result of the stroke. He may have been like that before. I don't know, because he's been dressing like this for a long time. But
I mean, let's see. Can we find a picture of his shoes? In this picture, he's got tie shoes on. But for the record, I wear tie shoes, but I just slip my fucking feet into them. I never untie them. The last time my shoes were untied, my cat did it. True story.
Try to tie them together to make you fall down.
I haven't tied my shoes daily since I wore high top sneakers back in the 90s.
Wow.
Just normal ones. I just slip my foot back into it. It's easier. I'm lazy, man. Remember, if you want to know the easiest way to do something, ask your laziest friend.
Yeah. Life hacks.
That's right. Just slide your foot back in there. Now, the first couple of times you do it after tying your shoe, it'll be tight. It's okay. It'll stretch just a little bit and it'll be easy. Yes, really. What, you want me to lie to you? What do you think I am, the CIA? DHS has 260,000 employees, yet Mayorkas just appointed liars James Clapper and John Brennan to a new Homeland Security Intelligence Experts Group.
I saw this. I mean, I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, well, there's only so much outrage you can have because after they all signed on with that stupid letter.
I guess we can look at the actual article. Yeah, this is a intelligence group that there's no reason to have. There's no reason for them. And it includes people from the press, Jack. It's not just former intelligence people. This is just a way to get people like this their clearance back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When I say this, I'm pointing at the screen. That's John Brennan on the screen there.
Yeah, he's a piece of garbage.
Famously lost his clearance under Trump, and everybody lost their shit over it.
I don't understand why they were ever allowed to keep their clearance. You can get your clearance back if you get rehired to the government, but you don't need a clearance to work in the private sector.
What's a high top, please? You don't know what a high top sneaker is?
It's a type of shoe.
It's a shoe that goes up your ankle.
It covers like most of your ankle for most of them.
Yeah. No, I don't. Weird. How old are you? They still make high top sneakers, right?
Yeah, they might be called something different in other places, though.
Maybe.
I mean, they don't even have McDonald's; they have Mackers.
I guess so. Yeah. Think of Chucky Taylor's, man.
Yeah, Chuck Taylor. Usually, it's to support your ankle better for exercise. You know, like basketball shoes.
Yeah. Anyhow, this asshole's getting his clearance back, and DHS has made this new group. There's no reason for this group. They're just a what's the word I'm looking for here? An advisory group.
Yeah, it's almost like a think tank, but
yeah,
paid they're for just there to get their power back.
And oddly enough, this happens right as we go into election season.
Yeah, weird how that happens. I wonder if there'll be any interesting recommendations they come up with.
It'll be, yeah. They'll be working off to the side. It'll be shit you and I never see because they're advisors. So that stuff is kept secret from us.
Yeah. Real quick, thank you, Dixie Rose, for that feminist donation. Appreciate that. They've had clip-on ties since I was a kid. My dad had several. Yeah, I've got a couple myself. I also have some that have like a Velcro strap. I think they're Steve Harvey ties. They're actually really nice. But it looks like a regular tie, but it's just got a Velcro thing where it attaches. It's brilliant.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. They're actually really nice ties. But I think the Senate rules are you have to have an actual tie on.
I don't think the tie is the issue because with a tie, let me give you another life hack similar to the shoe thing. If you wear a tie every day, especially if you're wearing the same tie on a regular basis, don't untie it. Slip it down, pop it off your head, and when you're ready to wear it again, put it back on, tighten it back up.
Yeah.
Tie is easy to deal with.
It's one of those things he can't do on his own, though, because there's a process to it. And I really don't think he could do that. I think that there's a lot mentally wrong with him still, that even though he might understand that he could just do that, I think that there's going to be a lot of fumbling around.
I think getting a tie on him, though, is a lot easier than getting a button-up shirt.
I don't know. How big is that neck hump? You got to get a tie over that.
The issue comes in, seriously, the dexterity needed to, trust me, as somebody whose hands are fucked up now, there are times I have to have my wife help me button a shirt.
Yeah. My dad's got really bad arthritis in his hands, so I have to help him with his jacket sometimes.
Yeah, and having to do that every day, and fuck it, let him wear a pullover hoodie.
Yeah, it's got to be really stressful, but I think a lot of it, whatever the issue is probably the result of that stroke.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
And they're trying to accommodate him without saying that's what they're doing, and it's resulting in all this nonsense. If they just say he needs certain accommodations, buy him one of those tuxedo T-shirts. I saw Babylon B had said he premieres his new dress hoodie, and it's got that tuxedo T-shirt imprint on a hoodie.
Nice.
But there are other clothes he could wear. I mean, like a dress sweater or something like that. He doesn't have to wear a hoodie and athletic shorts. Shit, find him some of those old people pants that they make that they look like dress pants, but they're really like pajama pants.
He's not even wearing a polo.
No,
it's got to be the hoodie or T-shirts. No, nonsense. If he can't fucking wear a suit, he shouldn't be in there. Fuck him. Or give me a really good reason why he can't wear those.
There isn't one.
No.
It's just he's not capable of it.
All of the reasons that they can give point to him being unable to do it.
Yeah, which makes him unfit.
And if he's unable to do it, he should not be in Congress, period.
Yep.
So, New York Times in rare about face now says Ukraine, not Russia, behind mass casualty missile strike on market. No.
What?
I don't believe it.
But they're innocent good boys that didn't do nothing.
New York Times has issued a surprise about face regarding September 6th deadly strike on the center of the Ukrainian city of Kostyantynivka, which is in Donetsk Oblast. Fuck, it's in Ukraine. Initially, it was universally reported among all major international press that it was a Russian attack which killed at least 15 civilians and injured 30 more. It was among the single deadliest strike on a civilian area since the start of the war, given a busy market had been directly impacted. The fresh Tuesday New York Times underscores that less than 2 hours after the market was struck, President Volodymyr Zelensky blamed Russian terrorists for the attack, and many media outlets followed suit. Sorry, it says Tuesday Times report. The New York Times was at the time among those major outlets which uncritically went with Zelensky's version of events. Man, that sounds familiar. Didn't they do that with the Polish bombing?
Yes.
Hmm.
Hey, let's blow
Shocking.
some shit up and blame the Russians. Yeah, your little psyop there is kind of lazy, dude. But the media is willing to go along with it. Real quick, thank you, Tyrai. My dad passed on 3 August of this year. Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks. We found photos where in the 60s he is whoring a button down and tie in every photo taken in the house. It was the 70s. We seem to start dressing sloppy. Yeah. For the longest time, if you weren't wearing a button-up shirt, you were considered like low class. This was really bad in the 50s, where you went to school in a button-up shirt because otherwise you were considered trash. And that went all the way up to about the late 60s, early 70s, when the hippie culture really got a lot of influence.
Mm-hmm.
In the 70s, people still dressed nicely. I mean, it was just what you did. And then everybody started lowering standards because, it's okay. And I get it. I don't like dressing up either, but there's a time and a place to look professional. And if you can't look professional at a professional job, maybe you shouldn't be a professional.
Didn't mean to piss you off there, Monkey. When? I don't remember being pissed off.
No, nobody's done that yet.
But the missile came from the Ukrainian side, with the New York Times investigators finding that it was a Ukrainian surface-to-air missile that hit the busy civilian area and killed and wounded scores. Wait, isn't that what they told us about the... That's what they said with... Oh, no, that was a surface-to-air missile. Wait, that's what this says. Huh. The Polish thing, remember? It was an errant surface-to-air missile.
Yeah, that happened to be one of the Ukrainian ones.
One of the key videos the New York Times analyzed to reach this conclusion was actually provided by Zelensky's office, ironically enough. According to the New York Times report, evidence collected and analyzed by the Times, including missile fragments, satellite imagery, witness accounts, and social media posts, strongly suggest the catastrophic strike was the result of an errant, there it is, Ukrainian air defense missile fired by a Buk launch system.
When are we going to admit they're doing this shit on purpose?
No. Just because they put their troops in hospitals and then bitch that hospitals get attacked by the Russians doesn't mean they would do something like this on purpose.
Yeah, they're using Hamas tactics.
They absolutely are.
And they're using their propaganda tactics. Thank you, Circus Zero. Oh, go ahead.
Before you go, this is contrary. Putting your troops in a hospital or in a school, that is a war crime.
Yes, it is. It's absolutely a war crime.
It's a literal war crime. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because you're putting innocent people in danger. Thank you, Circus Zero. The hoodie hides Fetterman's life alert better. That's actually a good point. He might have one of those emergency alert necklaces.
Possible, I suppose. I just think that he can't do it. That's all.
Can you imagine whoever has to change his diaper? You got.
Oh God.
Hey man, Frankenstein pooped himself again. Get in there.
Notice you don't see his wife around him anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's why he's so big on the illegal immigration thing, is because his wife was illegal.
There's a reason, going back to the Ukraine thing, sorry. There's a reason that they deny the fact that they put troops and stuff, even though it's been confirmed, but in hospitals and schools, that they were housing their military equipment in a mall that we got to watch blow up, because it is a war crime. But they're absolutely doing it, and the whole world seems okay with it. And then when something like this happens, I'm shocked that the New York Times did bring it out. I'm very curious what page it was on.
Oh, it was in like section F, page 42 or something.
It was buried in the personal ads.
Yeah, it was like seeking Vladimir. He's so romantic. He bombs his own people.
Yeah, this is a story that they issued on the 18th, apparently. So it took them, a couple of weeks to decide that, oh, yeah, Vladimir Zelensky. But again, it was errant. It wasn't on purpose, you guys. Never on purpose.
Me and Faithless have just figured out that Fetterman has Quato from Total Recall, only it's not on his chest. Going, give them the air. No, it's on his neck. We've cracked the code. He's a mutant.
I love that this New York Times article, I'm reading it right now. It says less than 2 hours later, Zelensky blamed Russian terrorists for the attack, and many media outlets followed suit. Which there should be a comma there that says, including us. I'm not wrong on that, am I?
I don't know.
And if you click the link where it says many media outlets, it links to the AP. Instead of their own fucking reporting on it.
Wow.
Because of course. Can't have people thinking we lied to them.
Why would you want to do that?
Can't have people thinking that the New York Times is a puppet for a foreign government. Wait, wasn't it the New York Times that had a reporter basically banished because he was lying about the commies?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, they kept him, but nobody would take him seriously anymore because he outright lied about what was happening in Soviet Russia.
Yeah, they buried the story of the gulags.
They have often been the puppet of foreign governments because, well, they suck.
Well, they put ideology over facts.
I will drop the other link into chat for people, Jack. This is the actual story that Jack wanted me to cover on DACA. But, I mean, we went over the major points on that.
Yeah.
So, guys, we're going to wrap up here. I am going to try to get a game stream done. Been a while. Wonder if I remember how to do it. Bubba, you still awake? You want to go ghost hunting with me?
Oh, you're going to go ghost hunting and Rusty? Oh,
yeah. Makes it more fun because I forget what I'm doing and it makes it more dangerous. I'm still here. Cool. I've mostly been playing Starfield in my off time. That's the only game I've been playing the last probably week. I get why some people don't like the game, but if I see one more fucking reviewer go, I don't even like these kind of games, and then tell me that they didn't like the game, I might actually punch myself in the nuts.
Why are they playing it then if they don't like games like that?
It is amazing how many people. I saw a really good review of this, of somebody who did not like these kind of games. But he was honest in what he said, and he was fair in what he said. One of the things that he pointed out is like, there's really no movement. It doesn't feel like there's any life in the area. Because for the most part, the NPCs are just kind of standing there waiting for you to go talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fair criticism. Especially when Oblivion came out, more than a decade ago. And one of the things that they did in that game was gave all the NPCs schedules. That's a game from Bethesda.
Yeah.
And in this game, they all just kind of stand there waiting for you. There's a few
where they could cut. That's why.
Yeah, there's a few that move around. But so it's valid. But most of them are like, yeah, this game just sucks. You don't like this kind of game. Fuck you. Now, it's still a fun game. I enjoy it. But it is what it is. It's not perfect. But I'm going through my second playthrough. They have what they call New Game Plus, where you can restart and you have all of the stuff you've collected power-wise.
Yeah, they just like raise the level of it, right?
What they do is you have new skill points and or you have all your skill points that you've spent and you can earn them back, but you lose everything else.
Oh.
It's not like a lot of New Game Pluses where they make it harder for you. They actually kind of make it easier. And if you do it enough times, some really weird things can happen because there's changes to the universe. Because you're in a multiverse, Jack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's interesting. And I'm having fun with it. But I didn't want to do that. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to start over with a new character that, with the things that I've learned, I'll concentrate on different things to play through. But I am having fun with it. And to be honest, a lot of it is so mindless. It's easy to do when I'm not feeling well.
Yeah.
I just shut off my brain and go shoot a bunch of people and go from A to Z where they tell me to. Just finished RDR 2. That's how far behind I am with games. How'd you like it? Oh, I'm still playing my RDR 1, but I'm at my computer more than I'm at, upstairs or somewhere where I normally play my Switch. And since I've seen it, I'm not as driven to finish that one. I am going to finish it, of course, because it's Red Dead and it still plays very well. It's amazing how well it plays compared to RDR 2, and Red Dead 2 came out so much longer.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times when you play a game, you play the second one first and you go back to the first one. You're like, what is this shit? But no, it plays pretty good.
Yeah, I'm still working on Missile Command. So
yeah, I know. Jack beat Asteroids the other day. He's on Missile Command.
Yeah, moving up in the world, do love my Atari.
Still waiting to go, or for RDR 2 to go under $10 where I can afford it. Faithless, it's probably not going to drop under $10. If I'm just being honest with you, you might get it down to 19. Maybe they'll have a big sale, maybe. But RDR 2 is still selling pretty decent because it's a really good game.
Yeah, your best bet for something like that is to get it on Humble Bundle or something.
Yeah, something like that. You'll love the surprise ending to Missile Command, Jack.
I know, right?
Turns out it was the Zelenskys all along.
Yeah, it turns out it was the pesky Ukrainians coming here to mooch our money.
Anyhow, so guys, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Like I said, I still haven't watched the Megyn Kelly thing, and I want to, so maybe we'll do it tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll see what tomorrow brings. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so kind to us. Jack, anything you want to show out?
I'll drop a link to a new video, but thank you so much for the tips and all the support you guys give us. It's great talking to you guys. You're awesome people, and we do appreciate all of the support you give us.
Jack, last night after the show, you and I were talking about reminding the audience of stuff. Guys, Halloween's coming up. The Monk-O-Lantern shirt never went off the store. It's over there if you guys want to get yourself one before Halloween. He's the cutest little bastard out there. I love the Monk-O-Lantern. He's my favorite monkey I've ever made. He really is. He's just so cute. And you can get that. It's on the stores. Check out Jack's store. He's got tons of stuff over there. Check out the store. There's lots of other stuff. Even shirts I didn't remember making.
That's true. We were talking. He's like, where did this shirt come from?
I have no memory of it. None at all. But yeah, check those out, guys. And thank you for watching. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
I'm always glad to be here.
Everyone, have yourselves a wonderful night. I will be over on Ranting. I forgot to show my own thing. Ranting Monkey Games here in just a little while, playing some Phasmophobia with my good friend Bubba Hotep. We might open it up for more than 2 people. We'll see what happens, but for the beginning, it'll just be me and him a couple of times. So we're gonna go play some Phasmophobia, hunt some ghosts. Ranting Monkey Games right here on YouTube. Check it out. Everyone have a wonderful night. Take care of yourselves. We love you. And I promise it's over this time. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
This is how you know that it's time to go. I'm singing really low. That's a bad one, but